Hey guys, I'm Shaft of the Clinic Casting Crew. Welcome to the Base Wars Qualifier number 7. This is game 2 of a best of 3 in our semi-finals. Here in the bottom right-hand side of Daedalus Point, representing Team Chaos Latin Gamers and currently up 1-0. It's a book written by Douglas Adams from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's printed right on the cover. Don't panic. And here in the top left-hand side of that very same map, in the purple Zergy trunks, down a game, it's DakkoN. All right, so we do have a gateway first opener here by DontPanic. It looks like pull opener here for DakkoN. He's going again with the slightly more economic, or slightly safer as opposed to economic build, that pull first, and he is actually scouting all this dead space around his base just to make sure that there are no pylons or cannons going down. Now I know Tyrannus is having a little bit of an issue with the screen share. Let me double check on him. Tyrannus, is it working?
Yeah, I got it up.
Okay.
It's actually interesting to me. On this map I usually see gas pool from Zerg, because with the early speedlings, you can deny that natural for so long from a Protoss, but
right.
Looks like DakkoN has decided not to do that.
Startail lifestyle.
Yep, exactly. Is that gonna be a cannon rush, or?
No, it's a gateway and a forge. Or I'm sorry, a gateway and a cybercore.
Oh, okay. I was
forge.
Okay. That that probe looked a little bit suspicious to me.
Yeah. By the way, Tyrannus is viewing this from screen share, so it does not have the ability to click things. So just bear with us for this game. We'll be getting things straightened out in a momentary. But anyways, we do have a 2-hatch build. DakkoN is going ahead expanding. You mentioned earlier that he doesn't typically know when to drone and when to make an army. He's currently 3 workers behind, but that's actually typical at this point in the game. At what point do you feel that a Zerg should overtake a probe count?
I'll just use last game as an example. He made those 12 Zerglings, first of all, which he shouldn't have done. He should have made about 6. So he overmade Zerglings there, and then after that, he geared up for this big Hydra push, and then he just kind of sat outside the Protoss third, letting him get up a Colossus and eventually breaking out, and he did almost 0 damage. When he could have taken his 4th a lot earlier, he could have made a lot more drones and gotten any sort of tech he wanted up. So I feel like if he's going to make units like that, he needs to either do something with them or not make them at all.
Right. Because anytime you are... The difference between the Zerg and any other race is races that have like a command center or a nexus, their production is for workers is different than their production for army. Zerg, all our production comes from one source, that's the larva. So while attacking as Protoss or Terran, you can actually apply pressure to your opponent and not lose worker production. As Zerg, that's not the case. If you are making an army, you are not making workers. Every larva you spend that is not a worker is a worker you cannot make. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. So by making units and not actually accomplishing anything with them, you're actually putting yourself far behind.
Okay. Well, we've got 3 gates in production now. That makes this a 4-gate, 6 minutes, 4-gate pressure.
Yeah, that's what it's starting to shape up like. Does DakkoN actually have any gas bank at all?
Not really. He's got 16 gas now. He just laid down the 2 gases, so he's really skipping wing speed, going straight into roaches, is what it seems.
Yeah, he's gonna need to get a spine crawler up, I feel, because he won't have as much gas as he needs to produce the amount of roaches he needs, and he may need to pull a queen from his natural in order to defend this.
Fair enough, my friend. Well, we've got the Roach one finishing up. He may get it just in time. Actually, I don't think this third. This third was really greedy. His opponent didn't go Forge Fast Expand. He went Gateway first, and that makes all the difference on this third timing.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to take a third like this, you need to either have link speed to be able to shut down any pylons, a quicker Roach Warren, or a spine or two, because... Oh, and now he's bringing that other queen down so late, and it's going to get sniped. He's going to end up losing 2 queens, his third, and who knows what else. We'll have to see.
Well, the roaches are here, the zealots hunting down on this hatchery, but it's just too little too late. And there's the recall. All but 2 of the zealots getting away would have been much, much sexier if those last 2 zealots got out, but not quite.
Yeah, that was... I don't even know if he needed to recall there. I wonder if he could have just retreated, but it probably won't end up making a huge difference. He's got sentries out to force field, and he probably won't make the same mistake as Ghoul did in the first game that we casted tonight, where he wasted his Mothership Core energy and then didn't have it when he needed it.
Right. Well, this attack here by DakkoN is going to catch DontPanic in an odd spot. It's going to be hard to hold this wide ramp with nothing but sentries, and if he tries to hold it further back, well, there's just not really any good engagement points.
Yeah. What's probably going through DakkoN's head right now, though, is that I don't want to commit up that ramp because I have the chance of losing all of my roaches, which are the only thing from him pushing out across the map and killing me right now. And even if he didn't push across the map and killing him, he would lose any sort of, like, edge he had in this game of containing his opponent and being able to be in a sort of a poor position.
Understood. Well, we've got the Safety Immortal coming out, RoboBay following that. Pretty high sentry count. Sentry and Colossi work very well together. And DontPanic's only just now getting the Hydrogen. This Hydrogen is so late in relationship to the RoboBay.
Yeah, I can't imagine him being able to put on any pressure whatsoever with these Hydras, but DontPanic still hasn't attempted third, I believe, so he's actually just going to be on really late Colossus as well, but there's the third right now, right?
Yeah, looks like he's attempting it.
Okay.
We'll see if the Roach Hydra Force can do any pressure. Colossi going to have a little bit of a harder time moving down to defend the third. Holding the natural will be a lot easier, but he's got to take a risk. Getting a third, at this stage in the game, it's not too risky, but it still gives DakkoN an attack point.
Yeah, I feel as though as soon as that Colossus pops out, he'll have very little trouble holding this, because he'll have the overcharge, he'll have a Colossus, although the Colossus does not have Thermal Lance, so that could be a little bit troublesome, but not too much.
Well, Overseer getting picked off here pretty easily. DakkoN getting supply block behind that, and he's forced to make 3 Overlords at a time. Aspire just now getting laid down. He does see, that Colossi are a possibility, the Immortal giving that away.
Yeah, and with these 2 Immortals out as well, I didn't even notice that before. There is absolutely no chance for DakkoN to break this on the economy he's on with all those force fields and the photon overcharge. His best bet at this point is either to try and do some sort of mutatech switch, or I want to say Turtle Stormhost, because he cannot engage his army straight up, or else he will die.
Yeah, we've got +2 attack on the way for DontPanic. Again, outpacing his opponent on upgrades by a significant degree. We don't have, actually, an Evolution Chamber here for DakkoN. That's going to make the mid-game very close, but as we move into a later game, DontPanic is going to completely steamroll DakkoN. DakkoN has to make something happen now.
Yeah, this is really, really bad. It seems as though he's forgotten it, because he's getting all the tech he needs, but he doesn't have any upgrades, and DontPanic's going to be on 2-0 with Colossus, Thermal Lance, and Blink. Like, he is going into that Muta switch, like I said, I believe. So
well, Roach Hydra's engaging here at the third of DontPanic. We've got Stalker Colossi doing a great job holding the Zerg stuff at bay. The Force Field's doing a great job as well, and that has obliterated most of DakkoN's stuff.
Yeah, that was a really questionable engagement. It looked to me like he was going into Mutalist, but now he's deciding on Corruptors. I feel like if he were to go into Mutalist, it would be better if he did not sack his army, because it's just easier to keep the Protoss army at bay when your army's actually still alive. So
Well, I'm pretty sure I saw him build like 2 Mutalisks and then cancel them and build the Corruptors. So I think he went through the exact same thought process you did there.
yeah, that he needs these Corruptors out right now if he's gonna hold a counter push.
You know what is really bothering me? He just built like 22 lings, right? 28 lings. He's just now starting ling speed.
Oh, that's really not great because not only would the lings not be good in the battle, their only usefulness they have is in counterattacks, and they can't counterattack without ling speed.
Yeah. Um, so DakkoN kind of falling apart a little bit here. Do you think this is nerves or is DontPanic just such a higher caliber player?
I think DontPanic is an extremely good player, and DakkoN has made some very questionable decisions. Whether they're nerves or not, DontPanic is definitely outplaying him in the series.
Well, DontPanic moving on to the creep here. He doesn't have an observer with him, so he can't clear the creep. If DakkoN does have a chance to get back into this game despite his bank, it's going to be right now. Moving on to creep is very committed.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to kill DakkoN with this push. I feel like DakkoN's only chance is to get an amazing engagement with a great concave and focus those Colossus down very quickly.
Watching that Protoss army move was like watching it dance. It was moving backwards, like waltzing back in there and then splitting itself and doing a little twirl. And now it's stepping all over its opponent's feet, and they're getting mad and they're about to leave the ball. Bye-bye.
Yep. There's the GG. Very well played by DontPanic that game. He reminded me of his game on Heavy Rain against Sheep, actually. He just sat back, got what he needed to get, and then moved out for the killing blow.
As I mentioned going into our first game of DontPanic, he is just a super safe standard player. He lets his opponent apply the aggression, and he reacts. He basically plays Protoss the way you think a Zerg would typically play. Most Zergs, they react to their opponent, they sit back on their creep and just defend. Well, DontPanic plays Zerg, but he wears Protoss clothing.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself from watching him play today. He basically gets the exact army composition he needs, not the composition he wants. It's really good.
Yeah, I love it. Now, we will be moving into our other best of 3, the other semifinals. That's going to be a Zerg versus Terran. We'll get the vetoes out of the way, and we'll be right back, guys.